In the next 30 minutes, we'll take you through all the top stories on WION Speed News. US first Hindu lawmaker Tulsi Gabbard has announced that she will run for president in 2020. The Democratic US representative of Hawaii said that she will make a formal announcement next week. An Iraqi war veteran, Gabbard said that one of the main reasons why she made the decision was the issue of war and peace. A 37-year-old Gabbard currently serves on the Foreign Affairs Committee of the US House of Representatives. Israeli troops have shot dead a 44-year-old Palestinian woman during a Gaza border protest. Gaza Health Ministry said 25 other Palestinians were also wounded by Israeli gunfire during the mass demonstrations, a weekly event along the border since March 30th. The more than 220 Palestinians have been killed by Israeli troops in the protest, billed as a pressing for an end to a grinding Israeli-led blockade of the enclave. Palestinians also want a right of return to lands from which their families were forced to flee in the 1948 war of Israel's founding. A Palestinian man has been shot and arrested by Israeli army after he allegedly attempted to stab an Israeli soldier in the Kiryat Arba settlement outside Hebron city. Israel Defense Force said it had shot the man after attempting to attack soldiers with a knife at an army outpost near the Jewish settlement. The suspected attacker was subsequently taken to the hospital with his injuries and has been since arrested. Saudi woman Rahaf Mohammad Kunoon, who fled her family and became stranded at Bangkok's main airport, has left for Canada after being granted asylum status. The Korean airplane carrying Rahaf Mohammad left Bangkok for Seoul shortly before midnight. Kunoon is due to board a connecting flight to Canada from Seoul's Incheon airport. The 18-year-old Saudi woman's flight from what she said was an abusive family has rallied opposition to the kingdom's male guardianship system. The plight of Rahaf Mohammad, who slipped away from a family last weekend during a holiday in Kuwait, recalls the cases of other Saudi women who fled mistreatment only to be forcibly returned to the kingdom and never heard from again. Macedonia's parliament has passed an amendment to the constitution to rename the country Republic of North Macedonia, as agreed with Greece to put an end to a 27-year dispute. Now, 81 deputies in the 120-seat parliament voted in favour. Representatives of the opposition who opposed the agreement with Greece boycotted the vote. The country struck the deal on the new name in June, but Macedonia will start using it only after the parliament in Athens also ratifies the agreement. For the fifth consecutive year, Moscow's historical zoo has collected hundreds of unsold trees from markets and introduced them to most of the animals' dwelling spaces. Naturally, reception of the trees varies greatly from species to species. For some, it is part of their diet and they munch on the plants happily. Others show curiosity. As for the elephants, they completely ignore their new trees in favor of a hearty meal of bread and biscuits. A chief scientist at the zoo said the trees serve as a good source of seasonal nutrition for animals in the winter. Now, runner-up candidate in the Democratic Republic of Congo presidential election, Martin Fayulu, has refused to accept election result and urged his supporters not to allow the Electoral Commission to steal their vote. Though pre-election polls predicted a landslide for Fayulu, a businessman and former manager at the ExxonMobil, the National Election Board said he lost to another opposition leader, Felix Tshisekedi. Fayulu's camp said he will file a formal fraud complaint against the election result. Shops were getting ready in Paris for a 9th round of Yellow Vest protest, using wooden panels to protect their displays in the neighborhood surrounding the Champs-Élysées Avenue. On the first Saturday of French sales, 5,000 security forces will be mobilized in the capital and 80,000 all over the country. The Champs-Élysées has become a central gathering place for Yellow Vests at the end of protesting days and often the scene of violent clashes with the police. A dramatic footage shows landslides tumbling down the sides of the Peruvian mountains after heavy rains caused flooding in the Andean country. The landslides block roads connecting villages in the mountains of central Peru, while other roads remain impassable due to the overflowing rivers. Three people were injured after an avalanche hit the Swiss resort. The avalanche hit the restaurant part of the hotel. Police have confirmed that at least 3 people suffered minor injuries and needed hospital treatment. Dozens of people were evacuated from the skiing resort, and rescue workers were still looking for victims in the snow, but no one was reported missing. As Europe battles inclement weather and snowstorms, a private helicopter used its propellers to remove thick layers of snow on top of trees along the highway connecting the towns close to the German city of Munich. According to officials, the snow on the pine trees weighs several tons and could fall into passing cars. 5 districts in Bavaria have declared a state of emergency due to heavy snow, with schools closing, roads being blocked. German police have published a surveillance video that shows 3 men assaulting far-right politician Frank Magnitz. Now, the police have announced a reward of €3,000 in exchange of information that would help arrest the 3 assailants. Magnitz, a member of the German parliament and leader of the far-right AfD, was attacked on Monday evening after leaving a theatre in the center of the northwestern city. Greek police fired tear gas to disperse hundreds of teachers protesting against government plans to change hiring procedures in the public sector. About 2,000 protesters marched through central Athens, holding banners and chanting slogans against an education ministry bill currently under public consultation that will change the way teachers are appointed, placing more emphasis on qualifications than years of service. Now, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has chastised China again over the detention of 2 Canadians. He defended his country's arrest of a senior Chinese executive at the request of the US, which has sparked a diplomatic row between Canada and China. The 2 Canadians were held last month after the arrest of Huawei CFO Meng Wanzhou in Vancouver on December 1st. A bus crash in western Cuba has left at least 7 dead and 33 injured, including foreign tourists. According to reports of the 40 passengers, 22 were foreigners from the Netherlands, the UK, France and Mexico and Canada, as well as Cubans. Now, a local doctor also said that one of the 2 children injured in the accident was of Spanish nationality. The accident occurred when the driver of the bus lost control of the vehicle. A car bomb ripped through the Iraqi town of Al-Qaim on the Syrian border, killing 1 person and injuring 16 others. However, a local police source put the number of killed at 3, with 23 injured. The military and the police said 4 members of the security forces were among those injured. The video showed the aftermath of the blast in which firefighters battled. A burning building and multiple vehicles were destroyed or damaged at the scene. A woman who was infected with Ebola during pregnancy gave birth to a healthy baby girl at an Ebola treatment center in the northeastern city of Beni in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Doctors at the center said both mother and her baby are doing just fine. The woman was infected by the virus and admitted to the treatment center supported by the UN Health Agency. An army officer and a soldier were martyred in an IED blast near the line of control in Nowshera sector of Jammu and Kashmir. It's being suspected that the improvised explosive device was planted by terrorists. The Indian Army soldiers have been against IED blast and attacks by Pakistan's border action teams. And in another incident, terrorists hurled a grenade at CRPF platoon near Lal Chowk in Srinagar on Friday evening. No loss of life was reported from the attack. The leaders of the two major parties in Uttar Pradesh, Akhilesh Yadav and Mayawati, are likely to announce an alliance for the Lok Sabha polls today. The two leaders had discussed a seat-sharing arrangement in Delhi early this month. Both Mayawati and Akhilesh Yadav are expected to address a joint press conference in Lucknow. The two parties have held talks to form an alliance to defeat the ruling BJP in Uttar Pradesh, which won 73 seats in last Lok Sabha elections. Prayagraj city in Uttar Pradesh is all set to observe its first Ardh Kumbh Mela from January 15th. The Kumbh Mela is held every 6 years, while the Maha Kumbh Mela comes after 12 years. According to a report, around 100 million to 150 million people, including 1 million foreign tourists, are expected to attend the festival over an 8-week period. A zoo in Gujarat, Vadodara, has welcomed its newest arrival, a baby hippo named Dimpy, who lives in Sayaji Bog Zoo, gave birth to a calf earlier this week. The zoo's curator said mother and baby are both in healthy condition. The baby hippo's gender has not been ascertained yet, as the mother has not been allowing zookeepers to go near the calf. The upcoming documentary titled Leaving Neverland is being condemned by the estate of late singer Michael Jackson. In a latest release statement, the estate said, and I quote, "This is yet another lurid production, an outrageous and pathetic attempt to exploit and cash in on Michael Jackson," unquote. The 4-hour documentary features the testimony of the two men accusing the late king of pop of sexually abusing them at the ages of 7 and 10. The film is set to premiere on 25th January at the 2019 at the Sundance Film Festival.